Hi everyone, so today we're going to do just a nice general kind of practice for the whole body, just helping to set you up either in the morning or perhaps in the afternoon when you're feeling a little bit low on energy. It's just going to give you that bit of pep up and also that connection back with the physical body. I'm going to start off on our backs. So just beginning with in constructive rest, so the feet mat distance apart, and then the knees knocking together. We'll place the hands onto the stomach and just nestle the shoulder blades a bit further down the back. So I'm going to just start to draw that length into the sides of the lower back, so the muscles feel like they're elongating towards the sit bones. And just feeling into the breath. So with the hands placed there, you can get that tangibility with the breath. I'm just going to begin to breathe a little bit deeper, but also a little bit slower. So seeing how long you can make the inhalation and the exhalation last. Just beginning to really sort of ground down through the back of the body, getting ready for the practice ahead. So if you'd like to come to that ujjayi breath, you're welcome to start taking that now, or you can just stay with a diaphragmatic breathing with deep inhales and long exhalations. I'm just going to come to separate out through the knees, taking the hands out to either side with the palms facing up, and just drop the knees over to the right, so you come to the inside and outside edge of the feet, back to the centre and then over to the left, and just allowing that bit of movement to come into the pelvis, into the lower back as you move between the two sides. So we'll come back to the centre and just either keep the knee bent with the foot behind the hip, or extend that left leg out long with the back of the leg touching down to the mat. We'll hug your right shin in towards the chest. So just feeling into creating a bit more space in between the front of the pelvis and the front of the thigh. Perhaps taking some rotations through that ankle, spreading through the toes, enlivening the foot. And then just make our way into a half happy baby on this side. So drawing that knee in towards the armpit, thinking about stacking the heel on top of the knee as you flex out through the foot, so the arch of the foot's super active here. And just keeping that grounding through the left hip to the ground. Nice full breath in. And long breath out. Inhaling. And exhaling. So I'm just going to come to bend that knee if it's out long, and taking that heel on top of the left thigh. So coming to this pose that's known as supine pigeon pose, or figure of four pose, I tend to call it. If you lift up onto the toes, so you might stay here, quite active in this position, flexing out through that right foot, or you might come to bring your thigh towards the chest. So we want the shoulders to stay relaxed here, so if they're sort of compromising around the shoulders, just come back to the first position. Just taking a few long breaths. And the next inhalation, come to lift the left foot towards the ceiling, keeping the foot flexed. So really energize through that leg. So you can either keep the hands where they are, or you might take the hands to interlace onto your calf as you lift the forehead up towards that knee. Try and keep broadening the space between the collarbones. It might even feel nicer to take the hands away and extend them either side of the legs. Full breath in. Long breath out. Inhaling. And exhale, slowly coming back down. Just going to rebend into that knee, take the sole of the left foot down, arms into cactus arms, and then rolling over to the left, bringing the gaze over towards the right. Just allow that gentle twist to come into the spine. Inhale to bring the gaze back, and then over to the other side. So that nice opening across the pelvis, perhaps into the groins. Inhaling, coming back, and then releasing that leg down. I'm just going to come back to those windscreen wipers that we did at the start. And then back to the centre. So now coming to hug the left shin in towards the chest. So remember those options of either keeping the foot where it is or extending that leg out long. Hugging that knee in towards the armpit. And just take some circles out through the ankle, wriggling through the toes, enlivening into this foot. And then coming to that half happy baby on this side. So bringing the knee in towards the armpit. And just keep that sense of grounding through the right side of the pelvis. So nice full inhalation. Long, smooth exhalation. Inhaling. Exhaling. Taking another deep breath in. And exhale, bend into the other knee and place that foot down. Making your way to that supine pigeon on this side. So you can either come to lift up onto the tiptoes of the right foot, keeping the flexion in the left and the toes spreading. Or you can lift up that foot and hug the thigh in towards the chest. So thinking about that left knee kind of coming towards the front of the room without putting any external force onto it. So we're sort of using the mind and the muscles to maintain that movement. So really active here. Full breath. Long exhalation. Deep breath in. And exhale. So on the inhalation, we'll come to extend that leg up towards the ceiling. Maybe keeping the hands where they are or taking them up onto the calf muscle. And then lifting that forehead up towards the knee, keeping the activation through both feet so you can feel the arches lifting. Maybe taking the hands either side of the leg so you get that nice space around the heart. Extend and reach through the fingertips. Draw the forehead up towards the knee. So there should be a bit of activation here into the core. Full breath in. Long breath out. Inhaling, maybe lifting slightly higher. And exhaling, releasing all the way down. So we'll just take that right sole of the foot down. Arms into cactus arms. And rolling over to the right hand side, so maybe that left foot comes into contact with the ground as you take the gaze over to the left hand. Allowing the breath to travel freely and smoothly up and down the spine. Taking another deep breath in. And then exhale, rolling back to the center and then over to the opposite side. Gaze over to the right side. And inhale, head coming back, followed by the legs. And then we'll release both legs to come to hug the shins in towards the chest. So it can be quite nice to take a little rock from side to side here, or circling the knees or around the sacrum. And we'll place the soles of the feet down, so just touching in with the tips of the fingers against the heels. So the knees are hip distance apart here. I'm going to take a few rolling up and down the spine as if we're doing cat and cows but in bridge pose. So just nestling the shoulder blades down the back as the palms press against the ground. Begin to tuck the tailbone. So you want this kind of engagement and activation into the pelvic floor, or the Mulyada Bandha as it's known in yoga. So you've got this kind of sensation of everything being zipped up through the midline of the body. So just squeezing slightly here, you might feel a bit of activation into the glutes, and then slowly starting to lift from the tailbone, coming up through the vertebrae towards the upper back. So it doesn't have to be your fullest bridge pose, we're still warming up into the body, so slowly begin to roll down shoulder blades, middle back and lower back. So we're going to roll up on a count of 3, so coming to activate, rolling up on 1, 2, 3, exhale, rolling down on 1, 2, 3, inhale, rolling up on 1, 2, 3, exhale, rolling down on 1, 2, 3, inhale, rolling up on 1, 2, 3, exhale, rolling down on 1, 2, 3, inhale, rolling up on 1, 2, 3, exhale, rolling down on 1, 2, 3, inhale, rolling up on 1, 2, 3, and exhale, rolling all the way back down, nice and slowly. Just allowing each of the vertebrae to come back to the ground. Okay, great. So come to hug the shins in towards the chest once again. I'm going to roll up and down on the spine. If this doesn't feel great, just coming up in your own way, so maybe through fetal position. And then we'll come to extend the legs out long. So I'm going to take the hands about 2 steps away, lifting up and out through the chest. And just coming to roll over onto the right side of the body and take the gaze over the left shoulder. Coming back to the center, rolling over to the left. So we're just going to take a few more like this. So inhaling over to the right, back to the centre and over to the left. And then coming all the way back to the centre. So we're going to lift up. I'm going to come over into child's pose. So extending the fingertips out. I want to have that nice firm foundations with the fingertips spread really wide, middle fingers facing towards the front of the room. Try and roll the tricep towards the bicep. So you're getting the activation into the arms, the inner eyes of the elbows facing towards each other. Feeling the pressing of the sit bones back towards the heels to create that rounding. Then inhale to bring the gaze up between the thumbs. We'll make our way into downward facing. So maybe coming to walk out through the heels for a moment, or head and neck to sway from side to side. Inhale to bring the gaze forward and we'll slowly ripple into plank. Exhale, lifting the hips up high, coming back into downward facing dog. Inhale, bringing the gaze forward, slowly rippling through the vertebrae of the spine, arriving in plank. Exhale, hips lifting high, downward facing. Inhale, bringing the gaze forward into plank. So in plank, you're going to lift the right toes, bring the knee towards the nose. Step the foot in between the hands. Coming down into a low lunge. Inhale to reach the arms up. Extend through the fingertips whilst plugging the shoulder blades down the back. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Inhaling. And exhaling. Bringing the hands down. Tucking the toes. Elevating that knee. Inhale to bring the knee to touch down. Exhaling up. Inhaling, knee down. Exhaling up. Once more inhaling. And exhaling up. Coming to high level lunge. Reach and extend through the fingertips. Find that rolling under the pelvis. We want to create more space and length, filling the lower back. And bring the hands down to prayer. And then come to twist towards the right. Maybe hooking that elbow behind. Maybe coming to extend and open up the palms. Taking the palms back together. And then we'll come back into planting the palms either side. Stepping it back into plank. So I'm going to shift the weight forward, take the knees down, engage the abdominals, pick up through the toes. Exhale, bend the elbows to brush past the rib cage. Exhaling back up. Inhale, slowly lower. Exhaling up. Once more, slowly lower. And back up. So this time slowly lowering all the way down to the ground. Release the tops of the feet away. Press down through all 10 toenails. Lift through the heart. Perhaps coming up onto the fingertips here. Exhaling down. Inhale, rolling up. Exhaling down. Inhale to lift. And exhale. Bring the whole palm down, pick up the toes, press through the hands, coming back through that halfway chaturanga and into child's pose. Nice long breath in. And full breath out. Inhale, bring the gaze forward. Making your way into downward dog. Inhale, bring the gaze forward into plank. Pick up your left toes, bring the knee towards the nose. Step that foot in between the hands. Find your way into low level lunge. Inhale, reaching up through the palms. So you feel like you're bringing the navel towards the back of the body. Activate and energize through the fingertips. Full breath. Full exhalation. Inhaling. And exhale, bring the palms down. So if you come to tuck the back toes, lift the knee. Exhale, tuck the knee down. Inhale to lift. Exhaling to tap. Inhale to lift. Exhaling to tap. Inhaling to lift. And then making your way into a high level lunge. Bring the palms down and we'll take a twist towards the left. Maybe hooking the elbow behind, maybe not. Maybe extending the arms. Deep breath. Keep pressing out through the right heel. One more inhalation. Exhale, bring the palms together. Coming back to the center, frame the foot. Step it back into plank. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Bring the knees down. Pick up the toes. Lower all the way down with control, engaging the core. Inhale, small cobra. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhale to lift. And exhale, bringing the forehead back down, picking up the toes. Press into the palms, make your way back. And then we'll come into a child's pose. Full breath in. Long breath out. Inhaling. And exhale. Inhale, bring the gaze forward. Make your way into downward facing dog. So really feel like you're pressing the palms down into the mat and you're getting that traction on the shoulder blades to move up towards the hips. Bring the gaze forward. So you're going to bend the knees here and you can step or maybe jump the feet to underneath the nose here. I'm going to come into squat here. So coming to quite a different kind of squat. We're going to bring the sit bones down towards the heels as you try and hug the knees in towards the chest. So from here, you might come to reach the arms up, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. So this can be a really lovely opening around the shoulder blades. Taking nice full sweeping breaths in and full breaths out, keeping that concentration. One more breath. Exhale, bring the palms down, spread the fingertips wide, and then either step or maybe jump back into downward facing. I'm going to inhale to lift the right leg towards the ceiling and then with control stacking the hips over towards the left. Try and keep the shoulder blades fairly square. Inhale, bring the knee towards the right elbow and step the foot outside that hand. We'll make our way into a lizard lunge here. So you can either stay where you are, keeping the shoulder blades rolling down,
You can come down onto the forearms by walking the hands a bit further away. I'm going to try and keep the length in the spine being our primary concern here. Full breath. Full exhalation. Inhaling. Exhaling. Take another deep breath. And making your way back up onto the palms. So from here, a couple of options. So just depending on how you feel in your body today, how open it feels, etc. You might press into the top of the foot and elevate the knee and stay there for a few breaths. Or you might come to bend that knee and bring it towards your hip and take the right hand back to grab hold of somewhere onto the foot. So you can get a little bit of opening here into the quad, to the psoas. Take another deep breath in. And exhale, releasing that foot down. So right hand's going to come inside the foot. I'm going to tuck the toes and then extend that right arm forward. Reach through the crown, reach back through the tailbone. Full breath. And then start to open up through the chest towards the ceiling. Exhale, coming back to the center, bringing the right hand inside. Make your way into Warrior Two. Nice. And relax through the shoulders, down away from the ears. Energize through the opposite fingers. Deep breath in. Full exhalation. Inhaling. And then exhale, reaching towards the right fingertips. Make your way into extended side angle. Find that rotation through the top left-hand corner of the chest. Deep breath in. And exhaling back to the center. Both palms are going to come down to frame that front foot. Come onto the balls of the left toes. Step it back into plank. Lower the knees. Firm up through the abdominals. Slowly lower. Inhaling to small cobra. Exhaling, pick up the toes. And making your way into child's pose. Inhale to bring the gaze forward. Retuck the toes, downward facing. Inhale to lift the left leg up, bending the knee to bring that heel towards the right hip, stacking the hips. Inhale, bring the leg back to three-legged dog, bring your knee towards the left elbow and step that foot outside the hand. So make our way back down into that lizard lunge. So any of the variations, just try and keep the chest open as well as in between the shoulder blades. So take 2 more breaths in here. And make your way back up onto the palms if you are in that variation. And then either come to press down into the top of that right foot, or you might come to bend that knee and take the left hand back behind to grab hold of somewhere on that foot. So maybe even experimenting through the flexion of that foot and the pointing of the foot. Two more breaths. exhale, releasing that foot down, retucking the toes, elevating through that knee, extend and reach the left arm forward. Find that rotation through the torso over to the left, extend and reach through the fingertips whilst keeping that space between the earlobe and the shoulder. One more breath. Exhale, rotating the chest down, left hand coming inside the foot. Plant the right foot down with the toes slightly tucked in. Right arm comes up, followed by the left for Ula Bandharasana 2. So you want to kind of feel that your heart is over your pelvis and your head is over the heart, and the gaze coming out over those left fingers. Nice activation into the side of the thigh and the side of the shin. One more breath in. Exhale. Inhale, reach towards the left fingertips. Find your way into extended side angle. Deep breath. Long exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale. Make your way back into Warrior 2. Both palms come down to frame that front foot. Step it back into plank. Shift the weight forward, bring the knees down. Engage the abdominals, pick up the toes. Slowly lower halfway chaturanga. Inhale, small cobra. And exhale, coming back the way you came in through that halfway chaturanga with control. And child's pose. Inhale to bring the gaze forward. Come to tuck the toes and lift the sit bones high. Then take the feet to mat distance apart. Then start to walk the hands back in between the feet. Grab hold of opposite elbows, maybe bend the knees here as you sway from side to side with the torso. Allow the neck to let go of the weight of the head. Grounding down through the four corners of your feet. So it's also quite nice, this sway for the hips as well. You can start to feel a little bit more into the hips and the IT band. You just come back to the center, release the palms down. We'll come to bend through the knees, maybe pick up the heels for a moment. We're going to find our way into Malasana, so squat pose. You might turn the toes out about 45 degrees. So options here, you can come up onto the tiptoes. If you feel like perhaps there's a lot of tightness into the backs of the legs, or maybe you're feeling like you're kind of coming in onto the arches of the feet. So the sort of priority here is to find that lift and lengthen into the back of the body. So imagine that cord running from the tailbone out through the crown of the head. Bringing the palms together, maybe pressing the inner elbow, the elbows towards the inner thighs. Also having that broadening around the collarbones. So just keeping the breath nice and deep. Okay, so we'll take one more full breath in. And then on the exhale, releasing the hands down. Bringing the toes back to face the front of the room. Slowly make your way back into that dangling position over the legs. Then we'll walk the hands forward into downward facing dog. So in this sort of wide-legged version of downward dog. I'm just going to take a moment to really feel that opening around the shoulder blades. Lift up onto the tiptoes, bend the knees, send the stomach back towards the thighs. Head and neck still relaxed. So really trying to feel like you can almost grow a couple more centimetres through the back of the body. And then we'll make our way to a wide-legged child pose. And just slowly walking the hands all the way back up towards your body. We'll make our way over into Dandasana, so with the legs out long. So you might remove some spare flesh away from your sit bones as you lift up and out from the centre line of the body, so sort of from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. You want to feel like you're growing a bit taller out from the hip points into the sides of the waist. So if you find that already your back is kind of rounding here, particularly the lower back, you might either take, if you've got like a cushion or a folded up blanket or one of the thinner foam blocks, you can use that. Or you might actually just roll up your mat. So you can take the mat underneath your sit bones. So it's going to give you that little bit of extra height and lift. Then also if you find that your hamstrings are always really tight when you try and do any forward folds, then just come to bend your knees. So we're going to try and find that extension as much as possible, drawing the lower three ribs towards the back of the body, so there's that lifting up and out rather than the chest sort of coming forward and creating that arc into the back. Engaging up through the abdominals. And then extend the arms up, begin to fold over the legs. If you've got that bend in the knees, you might just come to grab hold of opposite elbows underneath the legs. Reach up and out through the crown. So the most important thing here is the activation to the back of the body, the activation into lengthening through the muscles and elongating through the vertebrae of the spine. So if I just kind of come down and I round, I don't really feel anything. So it's just keeping the activation is going to start to open up. Maybe you can start to slide the feet away if you've got the hands underneath the legs. So the other variation, if you want to keep your straight legs, you might just bring the hands down either side of the shins. I like to come up onto my fingertips so I can still get that sense of the sternum reaching forward and the shoulder blades drawing down the back. So just sticking with either of those variations, keeping the breath nice and deep. See if you can sort of breathe into creating a bit more room, a bit more space. And take another full breath, maybe there's a tiny bit more room available. And then on the exhale, slowly making your way back up. So we're going to come now, if you've got the mat folded or anything under the sit bones, you can keep that there for this next posture. I'm going to bend at the right knee and bring your heel towards your hip. So you want about a fist in between your ankle and the inner thigh. You're going to take your left arm and hug it around that shin. Begin to twist the chest open. So we're going to extend and reach through the right fingertips towards the back of the room. Full breath, reaching and extending. Then on the exhale, maybe bringing the fingertips down to behind the spine. So the arm is a reflection of the length into the spine rather than a point where you're going to put a lot of weight into. Another full breath in. And then exhale, making your way all the way back. So just come to switch sides. Lifting up and out, grounding through the tailbone. So right arm is going to hug that shin into the chest. Extend and reach the left fingertips back. Keep the activation to the right foot as you reach through the left fingertips, drawing open the collarbones. Full breath. And then maybe releasing the fingertips down behind the spine. Another full breath in. And then exhale all the way back to the centre. Releasing the legs out long. Just unrolling your mat, moving through the legs from side to side, up and down. Okay, so you're going to come to finish up in Sukhasana. If you've got time for more of a Shavasana or meditation here, feel free to do so. And take the backs of the hands onto the tops of the legs, and just allow the shoulder blades to soften away from the ears. So just imagine the warmth of someone's hands just slightly pressing down onto the shoulders. And that sense of grounding by the hips and the pelvis, and then lifting up and out into the sides of the waist and the lower back. Keeping the back of the neck long, the head over the heart and the heart over the pelvis. Just really checking in with yourself at the end of the practice, how you feel. If you can just allow the practice of controlling the breath to let go now. Maybe the jaw can soften a bit more, facial muscles to relax. Just bringing the hands to connect into prayer Anjali Mudra. Feeling the lift of the sternum towards the thumbs and the elbows pressing out in opposite direction. Taking this moment to really thank your body for the practice today. Thanking your body for all that it does to carry you around throughout your daily life. And may we stay healthy in our minds, our bodies, and healthy in our path. Namaste. So thank you very much for joining me for this video today. I hope that you enjoyed it and you feel a lot more energized and you've got the benefits out of it. Feel free to sign up to my YouTube channel if you'd like to watch more videos. Okay, till next time.